A time transition today for New York's Catholics with the installation of Archbishop Ronald Hicks. Last night, Hicks was surrounded by the faithful during the traditional Vespers prayer service. And this afternoon, he will officially replace Cardinal Dolan as the leader of 2.5 million Catholics. We're joined now by our own Tony Aiello, who attended the Vespers last night and is covering the installation today. So you had a chance to hear from him yesterday. We heard some sound bites this morning, but in your estimation, where do you feel he is going to lead the church moving forward?
You know, Chris, the Archbishop of New York is both a shepherd and a CEO. And right now, Archbishop-designate Hicks is focusing on the shepherd part of this mission. He wants to get out. He wants to meet people. He wants to visit parishes. He wants to establish relationships, and he says he's going to listen more than he speaks. The CEO is a big part of the job, and I think eventually we will have a better idea of how he's going to approach that. He's got to boost enrollment at the seminary, and he's got to wrap up the sex abuse litigation, which has been just such a terrible thing hanging over the archdiocese, terrible acts committed in the 40s, 50s, up into the 90s. Yeah. And he's got to wrap that up. The archdiocese has raised $300 million to do that. Will it be enough? We don't know, and that's something he's going to have to grapple with.
And it's funny when you talk about the CEO aspect of that. I think a lot of people probably don't kind of look at that as the biggest part of the job, but it really is. I mean, 2.5 million Catholics alone, but then all of the other aspects that you just mentioned. The Midwest seems to be having such an influence right now, whether it's Milwaukee, Chicago, whether it's the Pope, whether it's the Archbishop. It's incredible, this Midwestern influence that is on the Catholic.
He is the third consecutive Archbishop of New York to come from the Midwest. Ron Hicks is 58 years old. He's been a priest for 31 years. He is the son of Ron and Rosalie Hicks. He was born in suburban Chicago. He grew up in the same neighborhood as Pope Leo. He's got one brother, Rick Hicks, 3 nieces and nephews. They are all here for the installation, but his mom and dad couldn't travel. Archbishop-designate Hicks told me that his mom is doing great in her 80s. His dad has dementia, and I think that really holds him back from traveling. He is coming from a small diocese, Archdiocese of Joliet in suburban Chicago. But I have to say, he has major experience helping to run the Archdiocese of Chicago, which is smaller but every bit as complex as the Archdiocese of New York. So he has some major administrative experience that on his resume that will do him well here in New York.
Like Pope Leo, is he a White Sox fan or a Cubs fan?
Hey, he's a Cubs fan.
Okay.
As am I. So what does that tell you, Chris? We know a thing about living for hope and looking to the future, and we'll get him next time, right?
Exactly. As far as eventually becoming a cardinal, is that in the cards?
You know, that is a great question, and honestly, no one has any idea. Pope Leo has not named any cardinals yet, and we don't know what approach he's going to take. Francis ignored many of the big cities that traditionally had cardinals. So right now, there is no cardinal in Boston, none in Los Angeles. There's no cardinal in Paris, none in Milan, Italy. They are major cities that always had cardinals, don't have them now. So until Leo starts naming them, and we should see the first batch of cardinals named by him relatively soon, we have no idea. In any event, it probably would be 2 or 3 years if Hicks becomes a cardinal before he would be named a cardinal. Generally, the church would wait until Cardinal Dolan turns 80 and can no longer vote in a conclave for a new pope.
And speaking of Cardinal Dolan, I think we've been spoiled. Talking with him, I know at 75, you have to kind of hand in your retirement papers, so to speak. But he still seems such a man of the moment, a cardinal of the moment. And it's going to be tough to see him go. But what's he saying? How bittersweet a moment is this for him?
Well, maybe we should wish him happy birthday, because today is his 76th birthday. Okay. The new guy is being installed on Cardinal Dolan's 76th birthday. You know, I did chat with him a bit on Sunday, had a cup of coffee with him. He is sad to leave the job that he loves. I think bittersweet is the right word. But you know what? There's also some relief that the administrative burden is being lifted off his shoulders. He will have more time to read and travel and teach. He's moved from the Archbishop's residence to a small apartment at Church of Our Savior, and he told me one of his big challenges was getting rid of all the books that he has collected, hundreds and hundreds of books, and now he'll finally have time to read them. He will still serve as a priest of the Archdiocese. We will see him doing confirmations and baptisms, and he said he'll go and do anything that the new Archbishop needs him to do.
That'll be nice to have him on call. As far as the installation for today, any key moments we can expect?
Yeah, it actually happens relatively quickly in this ceremony today. It will start with a knock on the door, And Hicks will be welcomed into the cathedral, and he'll be greeted by Cardinal Dolan. There will be a procession up to the altar. Cardinal Pierre, who's the Apostolic Nuncio, will read this ornate formal letter from Pope Leo. And in that reading, there will also be some kind words for the outgoing cardinal, which should lead to a moment of applause and appreciation. And then at the moment when he is seated on the cathedra, which is the bishop's throne just to the right of the altar, stage right of the altar, that's the moment when he officially becomes Archbishop. It's going to look a little bit different. The carpet at that cathedra and the cushion on the bishop's throne has been red because Dolan is a cardinal. When we see it today, it will all have been changed to green, which is the color for an archbishop. Hicks is an archbishop at this point.
Looking forward to it today?
I am. It's a historic moment for the church. We haven't seen it in 17 years. It's been such a privilege for me to cover Cardinal Dolan literally from the moment he was introduced to New York in 2009. I was in Rome, as you know, doing live shots when he became a cardinal in 2012. So it's been a great moment in my journalistic career to get to know him and to cover his time as Archbishop of New York.
Well, we can say firsthand you're the right man for the job.
Thanks,
Tony.
Chris.
Thank you. Good to see you and have fun today. We'll have special coverage of today's ceremony. You can watch the installation live right here beginning at 1:30 this afternoon, so we ask you to do that.